I wanted to share a personal story with you. When I was in grade 9, and this is before, or at least with a school that didn't discuss learning disabilities, didn't accommodate for learning disabilities. In fact, the teachers that were there in this school, I don't believe even were educated about learning disabilities because they certainly didn't make any accommodations for those with learning disabilities. So in my grade 9 class, we had a teacher. I'm on the verge of saying her name, but I do have her daughter on my Facebook friend list. So just by the rare chance that she happens to look at this course, yeah, I don't want her mom being singled out. Anyway, what she used to do with the classmates in my grade 9 class is she would separate them into three categories. She would have what she called the smart section. Then there was the middle section that wasn't trying hard enough, in her words. Then we had the other section on the right hand side of the room called the lazy students. Oh, it was so sad to see. First of all, those that went into the lazy section, I even noticed myself how much worse they became in their marks and even in their behavior. A lot of them were just giving up and not even trying. It was so sad to see. And the teachers weren't educated. But I believe in her way of trying to improve students' marks, it was a horrific approach. Then the middle section, which I was in, because she could see that, yes, every night I was spending 3 hours at least minimum studying and studying 3 weeks ahead of time for tests and exams. So she could see that I was trying and struggling. And it was her intentions that the middle section would try harder to move up to the smart section. And these were the students that all they had to do was just listen in class. They didn't have to open up their books when they got home. And then they could just do the exam and do the test and get like 92 or 95 or 97 or 98%. And they were praised for their accomplishments. The self-esteem, the self-confidence in that room with the middle section and what she called the lazy students, it was unbelievable. The lack of self-esteem going on in that classroom. I eventually started to move up. So there was like 2 rows of the smart section, there were 2 rows of the middle section, and 2 rows of the last section. So I was in the middle section and I moved up a row closer to the smarter section. Even still, I knew this was just so wrong. And then as I continued, then my studies in college and focusing on learning disabilities, spending 4 years in studies, plus my own experience and even having a daughter with learning disabilities and helping her. It's just as the years went by and as each course went by, I realized just how much more wrong that this approach was in school. Thankfully, schools today are up on learning disabilities. And while I did a survey of over 90 teachers in Ontario, Canada, there were only about 6% of teachers who felt that they had adequate education in terms of helping those students within their class with learning disabilities. The other percent felt and even mentioned that they only had 1 week in their university years of study, 1 week where they concentrated on learning disabilities, and felt by a long shot that they were not educated to help their own students. And again, thankfully, many don't have to go through what I went through. And although the bullying continues, I'd like to think that it has lessened. And do you agree or disagree that the bullying has decreased? Maybe you may have personal stories where the bullying did not decrease when you were growing up or even right now as we speak. What you may or may not know is that Albert Einstein had early speech deficits. Albert Einstein had language difficulties, and through these language difficulties, he has left a legacy and he has created outstanding contributions to society.